That moment when your shirt matches the news you've just read on Twitter. PJ just hit 1 million! Yes, Peach. Don't know why I'm congratulating him, he doesn't know who I am. Hi! We're by the bookshelf, which can only mean one thing, we're going to talk about books. So I decided I would take a trip to the library. A lot of the councils in sort of Bristol and South Gloucester started cutting funding for their libraries and subsequently closing their libraries down, and I'm a little bit like, WTF? Because libraries are super important, man. Leave our libraries alone. TLDR, I love libraries, and I'm getting increasingly more and more concerned that libraries aren't going to be here. So I want to support libraries as much as possible. So I visited 2 of them. There's the library where I live, and then there's the library where I work. And because of an amazing sort of deal between a load of the councils in the southwest, you can visit any library within a certain radius with 1 library card. You don't have to keep joining. Which is great. Like, obviously it's annoying for the people of like South Gloucester and Bristol that are losing a lot of their libraries, but thankfully it means that if they don't mind the travel, they can still go to libraries and use library services. Because I mean, it's not just the books, is it? There's like writers groups and readers groups and like baby and mum class. There's so many things happen in libraries, man. Stop closing down our libraries. What was this video even supposed to be about? Thing I found out, you can't take out more than 5 things at a time. So I took out 5 things, and these are the 5 things that I got. So the first thing I got, and I've already started reading it, nearly finished it in fact, is Mrs. Hemingway by Naomi Woods. If you know me IRL, you will know that I'm really into the sort of American writers of the 20s. Like, I love Fitzgerald and Hemingway, they're like my problematic faves. Midnight in Paris, another problematic fave of mine because it's a Woody Allen film, is one of my favourite movies. And when I visited Paris 2 years ago, my friend and I did a little bit of a tour around, and we went to Shakespeare and Company and we walked along some of the places that's mentioned in, I have it, in A Movable Feast, which is Hemingway's sort of autobiography, because I'm a bit of a nerd and I like all that stuff, and I've always really admired Fitzgerald. He is very style over substance. He just wrote so beautifully, and I really want to be in a band called the Ascot Fitzgeralds. Anyway, I really like the writers of the 1920s. There's a lot of fiction books these days that are about the wives of the writers. I've read 2 about Zelda Fitzgerald and 1 about Hadley Hemingway, who was Ernest Hemingway's first wife. When I saw this, I was like, oh, that'd be good. Didn't realise, but this is actually about all of Hemingway's wives, so I'm on to his last wife now. Really enjoying it so far. I mentioned Paris. I like cities, I like travelling to cities, I like looking around cities. Cities are a big thing to me. So when I saw this, I have absolutely no idea what it's about, but I've been to Paris, I've been to Chicago, liked them both, thought I'd grab it. The reasons why I went to the library is because I'm desperately searching for a copy of Queer by William S. Burroughs. Mainly because, and this is going to make me sound so stupid, should I tell this? I'm going to tell the story. So, I was watching an interview with the 1975. Matty pointed out that he had the word Allerton tattooed in a heart on his arm, and that is a reference to the book Queer by William S. Burroughs, and he was saying about how it was his favourite book.
My favourite tattoos are either the one for my nana on my chest, or the tattoo that says it's a heart with Allerton in it, and it's a reference to my favourite book, which is called Queer by William Burroughs, who's a hero of mine.
And I was like, you know, Matty comes across as being a very deep, intelligent, articulate young man. I'm sure that any book recommendation that he gives me would be fabulous. So I went searching for William S. Burroughs, and I didn't find Queer, but I did find this, and The Hippos Were Boiled in Their Tanks, which he wrote with Jack Kerouac, and this is their fictionalised account of the Lucian Carr situation. I don't know an awful lot about the Beat Generation, and it's something that I've always wanted to get into, but it's kind of I've never really found anything by Allen Ginsberg or anything like that, and the only one that I have read before is Kerouac. I've read On the Road, and I really, really liked it. So I don't know an awful lot about them, but I've always wanted to. They seem like an interesting bunch. And I watched Kill Your Darlings, which is the Dan Rad and Dane Dehan movie, about the Lucian Carr situation. And basically it's like a big group of these kids when they're all at college together, and a murder takes place, and it's not entirely sure whether it's premeditated or self-defense and who's really the guilty party, and it's all very up in the air and a bit like, whoa. Now, during that whole thing happening, Kerouac and Burroughs were BFFs with the guy that did the actual stabbing, and he went to them after the stabbing had occurred and was like, look, I've killed a guy, what do I do? And they didn't report it, and then it all kind of comes out and they get arrested, and then this is their fictionalised account of what happened. So I really liked Kill Your Darlings, and I'm really interested to read this, and I think it might be a good lead into Burroughs if I eventually find Queer. This video is basically just me revealing all my nerdiness, and we're going to continue that because, as well as American writers of the 20s and the Beat Generation, I'm also really interested in science, and I found a book called We Are All Made of Molecules. Geeky, gifted and socially clueless people. I'm all over that. Oh! And it's a signed one! Oh my god! What has the library got signed copies of the book for? That's exciting. Final one I picked up because I couldn't have more than 5, but there were more than 5 that I wanted. Although, to be fair, I do work full time, so it's probably a bit ambitious of me to try and read more than 5 books in 1 month. The Marble Collector by Cecelia Ahern. Cecelia Ahern's been a long-time favourite of mine. The first book of hers I read was Where Rainbows End, and I loved that so much. It's a shame the film version wasn't so good. She also wrote P.S. I Love You, again. Beautiful novel, terrible film. So those are the new things I picked up from the library. If you've read any of these before, let's chat about them, let me know down below. If you know where I can find a copy of Queer, let me know down below. And if you could recommend any more Beat Generation authors to me, I'd be really grateful. You can let me know down below. Also, if you are a member of the council from South Gloucestershire or Bristol and you're responsible for the whole library cutting thing, look at your life, look at your choices.